Do you ever feel like people don't treat you with the respect you deserve? Maybe you get interrupted in conversations, your opinions get brushed off, or people don't seem to take you seriously. It's a frustrating feeling, and it can be easy to blame others for being rude or dismissive. But sometimes we unknowingly have habits that actually cause people to lose respect for us. It's not always obvious, and these habits might seem harmless at first, but they can silently damage how others perceive us. In this video, we're going to look at 5 common habits that make people disrespect you. These are behaviors many of us fall into without even realizing it, and they can quickly lower the way others value us. The good news is that once you're aware of these habits, you can start making simple changes that can earn back respect and improve your relationships. It's about being mindful of how we present ourselves and making sure we're not sending the wrong signals. Stay with us as we break down these 5 awful habits, explain why they push others away, and give you practical steps to stop them for good. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to avoid behaviors that may be causing others to overlook or disrespect you, and you'll be one step closer to gaining the respect you deserve. Number 1. Gossiping about others. Gossiping is one of those habits that can sneak up on us. It might seem harmless, even like a fun way to bond with friends or coworkers. But the truth is, talking behind someone's back can be damaging, not just to the person you're gossiping about, but to you as well. When you make a habit of discussing other people's mistakes, flaws, or secrets, it sends a message that you can't be trusted. Think about it. If you're willing to share someone else's private matters, what's stopping you from doing the same when talking about the person who's listening to you? Gossip often creates a culture of negativity. It focuses on problems rather than solutions, dragging down the energy in conversations. You might think it makes you appear informed or socially connected, but it actually shows that you're more interested in criticizing others than improving yourself. This goes against Stoic principles, which emphasize focusing on your own actions and character instead of judging others. When you spread rumors or criticize people who aren't around, it lowers your own standing more than theirs. Another problem with gossip is that it weakens the trust people have in you. Even if someone laughs or agrees with what you're saying, they'll probably wonder if you talk the same way about them when they aren't around. This thought makes people feel uneasy and less likely to confide in you. Over time, this habit can leave you isolated, as others start to avoid sharing things with you, knowing that their words might not stay private. So what can you do instead? If you notice yourself getting drawn into a gossip-filled conversation, try steering it in a different direction. You can redirect the topic to something constructive, like discussing new ideas, sharing personal goals, or talking about a common interest. If someone else starts gossiping, you could even shift the conversation by saying something positive about the person being discussed. This doesn't mean you have to be fake or overly complimentary. Just find a way to show respect. Making these changes will not only help you avoid disrespect, but will also earn you a reputation as someone who uplifts others and focuses on what truly matters. In the long run, people will admire your ability to stay above the drama, and you'll gain the kind of respect that truly lasts. Number 2. Constantly apologizing. One of the habits that can make people lose respect for you is constantly apologizing. This might seem harmless or even polite, but it can actually send the wrong message. When you say sorry all the time, especially for things that aren't your fault, you come across as insecure or lacking confidence. For example, if someone bumps into you on the street and you immediately say, "I'm sorry," it suggests that you see yourself as the one at fault, even when you did nothing wrong. Over-apologizing can also weaken the impact of your apologies when you really do need to say sorry. If you're always apologizing for small things, then when you actually make a mistake that requires a sincere apology, it might not seem as meaningful. It also gives the impression that you feel you need to apologize just for existing or taking up space, which can make you appear submissive and easy to take advantage of. People may start to treat you in a way that reflects this lack of self-confidence. Now, this doesn't mean you should never apologize. There are definitely times when a genuine apology is needed, like when you hurt someone's feelings or make a big mistake. But if you find yourself saying sorry just out of habit, try to catch yourself. Instead of apologizing when you don't need to, you can say thank you instead. For example, if you're late to a meeting, instead of saying, "Sorry, I'm late," you could say, "Thank you for waiting for me. This simple switch shifts the focus from admitting fault to showing appreciation. It's important to show respect for yourself by standing up for your own opinions and not automatically assuming you're wrong. When you stop apologizing unnecessarily, you'll notice that people start to take you more seriously. You'll come across as more confident and self-assured, which naturally earns respect from those around you. It's all about finding that balance, knowing when to say sorry and when to hold your ground. By being mindful of this habit, you can slowly change how others perceive you. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but over time, you'll find yourself getting more respect simply because you're no longer putting yourself down. Number 3. Being inconsistent or unreliable. Being inconsistent or unreliable is one of the quickest ways to lose respect from others. This habit shows up when you frequently cancel plans, show up late, or fail to keep your promises. When people can't count on you to do what you say you will, they start to see you as someone who doesn't value their time or commitments. Over time, this can harm your relationships, both personally and professionally. Reliability is one of the most important traits when it comes to earning respect. It's not just about showing up on time. It's about following through on the promises you make, whether big or small. When you're inconsistent, it sends a message that your word doesn't mean much. People may start to feel frustrated, let down, or even resentful if they see that you're often unreliable. They'll stop taking you seriously, and you might find that they begin to distance themselves from you because they don't want to deal with the disappointment. Being unreliable can also impact how you see yourself. When you frequently break your commitments, it can lead to feelings of guilt, stress, and even lower self-esteem. It's hard to feel good about yourself when you know you're not living up to your word. This can create a cycle where, because you don't feel confident, you continue to struggle with being dependable. The good news is that you can break this habit by making some simple changes. Start by being honest with yourself about what you can actually commit to. It's better to say no upfront than to cancel at the last minute. If you do have to cancel, be straightforward and let the person know as soon as possible. Also, use reminders or set alarms for important dates and tasks so that you don't forget. Another helpful approach is to focus on small wins. When you consistently follow through on even the smallest promises, it builds a foundation of trust. Over time, this will make it easier to stay reliable in bigger situations. Remember, reliability is something you can build up with small, consistent actions. When others see that you value their time and take your commitments seriously, they'll start to respect you more. Number 4. Displaying passive-aggressive behavior. Passive-aggressive behavior is when someone expresses negative feelings indirectly instead of addressing them directly. This can show up as giving the silent treatment, making sarcastic comments, or leaving vague hints instead of saying what's really bothering you. At first, it might seem like a harmless way to avoid confrontation, but it actually shows a lack of courage to face issues head-on. This behavior can hurt your relationships and make others feel uneasy around you. When you act passive-aggressively, people start to notice that you're not being honest about how you feel. It creates an atmosphere of tension because the real issue is never out in the open. Others might not know why you're upset, and they might even feel like they're walking on eggshells around you. This kind of behavior can quickly erode respect because people value directness and honesty. If they see that you're not willing to communicate openly, they may feel you're not trustworthy or mature enough to handle conflicts. The problem with passive-aggressiveness is that it doesn't solve anything. If you're angry or frustrated but don't express it clearly, the person you're upset with can't understand what's wrong or how to fix the situation. Instead of solving the problem, it keeps the issue lingering in the background, creating unnecessary stress for everyone involved. The best way to overcome this habit is by learning to communicate openly. If something is bothering you, practice expressing your feelings in a calm and clear way. You don't have to be harsh or confrontational, but you should be direct. For example, instead of saying, "It's fine, whatever," when you're clearly upset, you can say, "I felt disappointed when this happened and I'd like to talk about it." This helps the other person understand what's going on and gives you a better chance to resolve the problem. A helpful approach is to adopt a Stoic mindset when dealing with conflicts. The Stoics taught that it's important to focus on finding solutions rather than seeking revenge or holding grudges. Instead of using sarcasm or giving the cold shoulder, address the issue in a way that aims to fix things, not make them worse. practicing open communication and aiming for a constructive outcome can go a long way in earning the respect of those around you. Number 5. Seeking validation too much. Constantly seeking validation from others can be a habit that slowly chips away at your self-respect. If you find yourself always looking for approval, whether it's through fishing for compliments, obsessively checking how many likes your social media post gets, or frequently asking people if you did a good job, it can signal to others that you lack confidence. It's normal to want some validation, but relying too heavily on it can become a problem. When you constantly seek validation, you're basically letting other people decide your worth. It shows that your self-esteem depends on what others think, rather than on your own beliefs or achievements. This habit can make you come across as needy or insecure. People may start to see you as someone who lacks a strong sense of self. Instead of respecting you, they might view you as someone who is too eager to please or even desperate for attention. This doesn't mean you should never care about what others think. Feedback can be helpful for growth, but the key is not to let it control you. If you place too much value on others' opinions, it can lead to anxiety and stress. You might feel like you constantly need to prove yourself, which can be exhausting and hurt your self-confidence in the long run. To break this habit, start by focusing on your own values and personal goals. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it's important to me, or because I want someone else's approval? The more you work on valuing your own progress and accomplishments, the less you'll feel the need to seek validation from others. Another useful approach is practicing self-affirmation. Take a few moments each day to remind yourself of your strengths and the things you've achieved. This simple practice can help shift your focus from needing external approval to appreciating your own growth. Remember, the goal is to build a solid sense of self that doesn't waver based on what others think. When you learn to value yourself first, you'll find that the respect you get from others will naturally follow. People respect those who don't constantly seek their approval because it shows that you're secure and confident in who you are. In conclusion, these 5 habits, constantly apologizing, gossiping, being unreliable, showing passive-aggressive behavior, and seeking too much validation, can really harm the way others see you. They might seem harmless or even normal at first, but over time, they can lead people to lose respect for you without you even realizing it. The good news is that once you become aware of these behaviors, you can start changing them. Respect starts with self-awareness and making conscious choices about how you act. If you stop apologizing unnecessarily, avoid talking behind people's backs, keep your promises, communicate openly, and build confidence from within, you'll notice a shift. People will start to treat you differently because they'll sense the change in how you carry yourself. Remember, small changes can make a big difference over time. Improving these habits doesn't mean being perfect, but rather striving to be better every day. So, take a moment to reflect on which of these habits you might need to work on. It's a process, but making an effort to change is the first step to becoming someone others respect and look up to. If you found this video helpful, let us know in the comments which habit you're going to focus on, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on personal growth and Stoic wisdom.